Have you ever been to a spot which makes you think deep in the recesses of your mind, maybe I shouldn't be here? A normal response to fear, but exhilarating at the same time. For me, I will often experience that feeling whenever I'm dealing with heights, which there's no shortage of in Joshua Tree National Park. But there's a specific spot that has some pretty interesting features. These two stacks of rock look pretty unassuming from satellite view, but we'll find out today why they are called the Hall of Horrors. On our way over to the hall, we were able to revisit some of the spots we went to in the last video, and as promised, improved conditions. We actually had some clouds today, and they looked marvelous with the Joshua trees. I really enjoyed working with this particular tree. Something I realized quite early on was those branches needed to be above the horizon with that nice contrast of the blue sky to really pull in your attention to the image. If the branches were against the mountains in the background, it didn't really work. A little further ahead, there was another interesting scene. So we had to deal with this bush on the left-hand side here. Let's have a look at another image. A slight move back balanced out the frame a little bit, and then you have these branches coming in on the upper right-hand side, balancing out the frame, trying to isolate the tree just a little bit more. But I wanted to try a lower angle. There we go. To me, the tree is just more interesting down low at this angle. I also tried to structure this image a bit so that the bush on the left-hand side was sort of providing this contoured edge around the shape of the tree. Good morning and welcome back to Joshua Tree National Park. So today we're over at the Hall of Horrors, which neither of us have been to before, but from what I understand, there's a slot canyon inside of one of these big rock stacks. I did a little perusing online beforehand to see if we could try and figure out where it is. I think a lot of people just come here and scramble, but we're gonna see if we can find the hall and get in there, and it might be a tight squeeze at spots, but we'll see if we might be able to get a couple of images while in there. The search for the hall was on, but the search itself would not be without its own distractions. All right, well, we've looped around the first stack of rocks, and then here's the second one. And from online, it seemed like that's where the hall is. So we'll go over and check it out and see if we can find it. At the very least, if we don't find the hall, there's plenty of beautiful Joshua trees, and we have clouds today, so I'm pretty excited about how these images are gonna turn out. I don't think this is the entrance, but it could be the exit point right about there. We'll keep walking around and see if we can maybe find it. I'm not completely certain, but this looks kind of like what I was remembering, so I think it might be time for a bit of a scramble, and we'll see what we find. Gonna need to be careful going through here. A steep rock face that left me wondering how I wanted to do this with all of that stuff on my back. I'm wondering how I want to do this with all the stuff on my back. But thankfully, with a little persistence, but how confident was I that this is where we wanted to be? Yeah, I'm pretty confident this is it. Pretty confident. Okay, good endorsement.
This is so cool. It's carved out by the water. It's so perfect.
Nice job. This is just way too tight.
No, it's too tight.
And the backpack was a choice taking this up here. Oh man.
This is it for sure?
Yeah, this is it.
Oh, nice.
let's say, opportunities for photography in here. Slim, but dang, this is cool. Oh, very narrow. And there is a massive boulder up above me. Wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna get that lens cap on. Just in case there's a little unintentional scraping. Yeah, this is hard rock. I think this is kind of the move walking through. Just be sideways. 1 inch at a time. Wild. Pretty cool. Oh, I would say this earns a fun check. This is cool. A little unnerving looking up and seeing those big boulders. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Oh, and I think this is the exit point already. Yep, this looks familiar. Gotta be careful going through here for sure. Any Bear Grylls quotes for us? Survival's a difficult thing, but in times like these, it's always important to remember you can drink your own pee.
You can recycle pee to help you survive.
Alright. Gold. So be really careful. There's a massive drop to the right. Good handhold on the left-hand side. Yeah, this is pretty steep. Good grips the whole way around that rock. Yeah. Good job, good job. Fair bit more scrambling getting out of here. I'll take it nice and slow. No injuries today. Survived to tell another tale. That was so cool. Nice little adventure. Oh man, I'm a little hyped up after that. It was super cool. So Hall of Horrors, now you know why it has the name. Massive boulders over your head, very claustrophobic space, and then large pits that you need to navigate also. Still, the entire area surrounding is so beautiful, so we grabbed a few more photos as we were walking out. Well, that's it for us in the Hall of Horrors. We're going to continue back into town, stock up on a few necessities, and then we'll be camping over at the Cottonwood campground tonight. We'll see what else we can see in the national park on our way over there. On the way into town, I felt like I had been neglecting my longer lens a bit, so I tried working with the 70x200 for a while. The trees looked really nice and crisp against that blue sky once again, but on the agenda for the afternoon, Arch Rock, and then we'd be heading to camp, and on our way to camp, we'd be going through a new desert. All right, we're back in the national park. We're walking over to where Arch Rock is, which I fully expect is going to be mobbed with people, but we'll see what it looks like when we get there. Maybe we can get a nice photo or two. We'll see what comes. Going through this section over to the Arch Rock, instead of doing the advisable thing and following a dedicated trail, we followed what we thought was a trail, but turned out to just be a wash going through the entire area. Pretty interesting little wash going through here. Ah, yes. Some very natural looking rocks over here. Interesting. I'm trying to remember what that kind of rock is called, but I'm not coming up with anything concrete. We had a rough idea of where Arch Rock was, but weren't quite sure if we were going to make it there from this path. Thinking we may be off trail at this point. This is cool.
You can get from here.
Can you?
Yeah.
Donkey chain. Oh, surprise! We found it. Just a little bit more scrambling and we're there. As expected with a popular spot, the arch was mobbed with people. We'll just give it a few minutes. There you have it, deceptively pristine nature. Just goes to show you don't always know what's going on behind the lens of some images. At least got a handful, while the one guy was just behind the other rock there. Oh, it's a madhouse. So as expected, a pretty steady syrup flow of people over there, which is fine. It's good to see people out enjoying this place. I had to do a couple of different images though. The first ones had a dark spot on the sensor, so thankfully turned the camera off and then back on. The usual sensor cleaning managed to take care of the dust speck that had found its way inside of the camera. So I'll have to address that further later in the evening. But for now, we're gonna make our way over to Heart Rock, which is a little bit further in and is exactly what it sounds like, a rock shaped like a heart. Here it is. Maybe not as anatomically correct as you might imagine, but still pretty heart-shaped. While we're here, may as well, just for posterity. Okay, let's see how to make it the most heart-shaped heart. I think that'll do there. If anything, the shadow might be the best part. Though it's shaped a little bit more like something different. There we go. That is the view with the shadow. Pretty cool. Okay, I think that'll do it. Beautiful view on the horizon here. Really gives you a sense of Joshua Tree just being desert with these massive pockets of huge boulders, and then on all the Joshua trees nestled throughout as you're in the Mojave. But tonight we'll be in Cottonwood, which is reaching into the Colorado Desert. I think at this point, sun's getting a little bit lower, start making our way over towards our campsite for the evening. In the previous episode, we had discussed that Joshua Tree National Park is made of two deserts, the Mojave Desert and the Colorado Desert. This drive is going to take us down 3,000 feet in elevation, reaching our first tastes of the Colorado Desert. So it's clear at this point, just coming down the road along this mountain pass into this huge valley up ahead, we're no longer in the Mojave Desert and have moved into the Colorado Desert. These plants just look very different from everything we've been seeing so far, and it's really impressive to see. pretty abrupt change, different place. Well, so much for relaxing and settling in. There's one of the cottonwood trees further down the way here, so we're gonna hop onto a trail and then just walk over there and try and catch some of the sunset. So 16 by 35 is coming along. We'll see what we can get over there. Trees look so interesting, just like a little oasis out here. We haven't seen anything like this in the park yet. You can tell from how long our shadows are, their time is getting very short here. Maybe about 3 minutes until that sun goes beyond that ridge, I bet. It's a little different seeing palm trees that aren't maintained. I'm so used to seeing ones in Florida where they trim off all of the dead fronds. Debating if we're going to find a photo down here. It's just not the composition I'm looking for. Oh, this is cool being out here still. This golden glow to these branches. The bark is just so light in color. Sun's just about over the ridge. Let's just take a picture of the sunset. Pretty pretty, I'd say. A little bit of a hazier sunset. I think I'm just gonna relax and take this one in. And that was just about it for our day. Some nice color on the way back, but we were really looking forward to unwinding. Nice quick walk. Starting to get some nice purples in these hills as the sun's getting lower. But we're going to move back over to phase 2 of our evening. Phase 2. That's gonna do it for this one. Thank you so much for joining. This is the 6th video in this series, so if you've missed any of the other ones, you can find them in a playlist over my channel underneath the Mojave and Joshua tree. I'm expecting to get 2 more videos out in this series, potentially a 3rd. We'll see how the editing comes out. These take a little bit of time, but if you're interested in following along, be sure to subscribe. We'll see you around. Take care.